It has been a month now since this event happened, and a lot of people have asked if I could share more insights, how I experienced it, and just like what I thought, what I recorded and why I recorded it, and when I stopped recording, where I did. So let's start from the very beginning. This is just me riding my bike to the event. Not very exciting, but I left it in because this is just what I recorded, and that was part of it. I got to campus at around 11:22, and the way I heard about the event was a friend contacted me and told me that Charlie Kirk would come to UVU for a campus tour event. I was super excited to come, and I immediately looked it up online and found the registration, which came with a QR code. This is how it looked like. I thought that there would be people scanning it to kind of keep track of who was there or not. But that did not happen. So I got to campus, and when I got here, there were kind of two guys that looked kind of official. So I thought they might ask people like if they filled out the RSVP and have the QR code. Later on, I understood that that was not the purpose of it, mostly because this is an on-campus event where people have classes. It's at 12 at noon, and there was no way to make sure that everyone who was there also has this QR code because it's just a college. So yeah, we got here, parked the bike. I put my hat on, and then we walked in these doors. So this is a building south of the amphitheater, kind of South Campus. And as you can see, there was no security or nothing that checked people. Like there were no metal detectors or anything. I also think that that would have been kind of um, like an expectation that could not be met on a college campus event to have those kind of security up. So yeah, we just walked in and got to the amphitheater area. Once I got in, that was my first time seeing the whole scene and everything. So yeah, you can see people up here on balconies standing, just waiting for another 35-40 minutes for the event to start. In the far back here, this is what kind of called the liberals balcony, where people who were not in that much of support of this event stood, but they still wanted to hear it. We got there, and I kind of just checked it out, held my camera up to kind of film the whole scene. Yeah, this is how it looked like, my first view of it. The very first thing I wanted to make sure was that wherever we stood was in the frame of where they filmed it with their cameras. So I looked at where the camera was pointing, and for the next 2-3 minutes, I was kind of just figuring out where we wanted to stand so that we would be in the shot, so that later on, so I did not have to record the whole thing. I just wanted to be in the frame, and we walked around, kind of checked it out. And first we stood further, up further to the left side. So first we stood up here, and then I saw where the camera was pointed at, and it was more pointed towards the right. And so we decided that we would just go up there and stand there. I also thought maybe I wanted to stand inside the masses down here. But then I decided, no, it's fine. I'll just be further in the background. So yeah, we moved up there. Up here, you see that this balcony area is no one is standing up here just because it was closed off with tape. People were wondering why that was. Like, was that because they did not want to see, like, have people up there checking, like, the roofs and eventually spotting the shooter? I don't think so. I think it was purely because people could throw stuff down, like, to, like, on Charlie or on the team or at students. So they kind of, like, shoved them further to the right up here, just to be precautious about that. I just pulled up Google Maps, and this is UVU campus. Down here, this is where I got to campus and where I parked my bike. These are the doors that I walked through to get to the amphitheater. This is kind of South Campus. So yeah, this is the balcony and where it was shut off and closed off, and people could not stand there. And people were just like standing all around, like wherever they could find a good spot to see and hear. So yeah, people were saying, why was this closed off, this part of the balcony, when you could actually like see the shooter? But it was not because of that. It was just because of safety reasons to not throw stuff at Charlie, I think. So yeah, this is what it looks like on Google Maps and from bird's eye view. So people are also wondering what camera I was filming this with. This was an Insta360 1RS with a 4K lens. Now in just a second you will see a quality change and time stamp change to 11:30. That's when I start filming with my iPhone 15 Plus. Yeah, just people are wondering. So yeah, we were just kind of hanging out there, deciding where we want to go. And around here, so you can see 11:30. The camera is set up right here, pointing right towards us. So I was pretty confident that this was a good spot where we would be in the background, in the frame. Yeah, so up here to the right, you can see a line of like people with red hats, and so this, I believe, was the line for people who wanted to debate Charlie. Up here, the microphone's up here, and people would not just like randomly from the crowd go up to the microphone, but they were like already lined up here, and like it was gated. So like they were lined up, waiting for their turn to debate Charlie. And yeah, that's how they organized it. We were all like, everyone was super excited and like just waiting, anticipating for Charlie to come out. We also started chanting USA and Charlie Kirk at some point. Yeah, it was just a good time filming the whole scene. So this was 30 minutes before the event started, and you can already see how many people were just waiting. And it just filled up way more within the next 30 minutes. Yeah, I was just chanting USA, being excited for the event to start. Charlie Kirk. Here you can see two girls just standing with red shirts and white hats. This was, I believe, the TP USA chapter from UVU here in the backstage that had a little meet and greet, like in the very backstage, very in the background, with them. So you will see like here how they just gathered up, and like they would later like go like back and like see Charlie and have all that. Then at some point there was a car pulling up here, like at 12 there was a car pulling up. I thought Charlie was in that car, and so like I filmed it, and it took her like a long time just to back up for them. But then eventually people came out, and I pretty fast understood that Charlie was not in this car, and so I stopped filming. People were wondering like, where's my footage from 12:01 to 12:05, which you will see in just a second how it switches. Here, 12:01, and then it switches to 12:05. So people were wondering why that was, and like where those 4 minutes of footage were, and I just did not record because Charlie was not in the car, and I did not just want to stand there and like record like something that was not very exciting to record. So yeah, we just waiting for Charlie to come out. I then also kind of filmed the balcony again with those people. Mostly they were pretty peaceful, to be honest. They had like flags and like signs and everything, and they did not say the nicest things. But for the most part, like they were not that crazy, and yeah, so it was peaceful most of the time. They were just there for good vibes, I guess. Just showing that they're not there in full support of that, but it's whatever. So yeah, then about like 2 minutes, 3 minutes before Charlie came out, there was this guy who took the microphone and like he just pitched something like helping to get students out of debt. Yeah, this guy. So like, here in the background, you can see how those like students are coming back from the, I guess, the backstage meet and greet with Charlie. And this guy, he just pitched his whole who is in student debt, and if you need help, call us. Like, we hope you don't need it. Anyway, it's, yeah. He just, like, pitched this thing. He was a sponsor of the event. And then, yeah, this is, at this point, this was almost as the event started. And there were, like, a lot of people just, like, on balconies, as you can see, on roofs. Just trying to have a good view and, like, hearing the debates. Yeah, as you can see, everything is pretty packed. And yeah, then Charlie came out. There he is at 12:08. So for the next 3 to 4 minutes, 3 minutes, he was throwing hats. As you can see, he was handed a batch of hats, and he just tossed them in the crowd. He had like 2 or 3 batches, I believe, of hat stacks like that. So yeah, for the next bit, he will just throw hats, have a good time. Everyone was waiting for the debates to start. It was a good time. The Liberals' balcony once again. But yeah, so all in all, it was great. And then Charlie sat down, getting the crowd excited. So yeah, this was the scene I got to see for the next 12 minutes before the shot went off. And the reason I simply did not record more than what I did is because I thought I will see this anyway on YouTube afterwards. And I did not want to, since like I was in the frame already, I did not want to like just hold up my camera and like film the whole thing in poor quality and poor audio. So there was no point for me to do that, and I stopped recording.
You know how it works. Question answered. Also, thank you to Lane from Y-Refi. That was great. Really.
Yeah, this is it. This is all the footage I have. So to kind of wrap up and kind of tell you guys what happened at the shot and after the shot. So I looked Charlie right in the face as it happened. And I saw, like, I heard a shot which was kind of high pitched, which I thought was weird. But then saw blood coming out of his throat, and he unconsciously just fell to the ground. His whole team ran up to him and carried him off. As the shot went off, and like after Charlie fell, the whole crowd, like everyone just ducked and like fell on the ground themselves, just like in case it was a mass shooting. But after like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, I figured like that was not the case, and whoever did it had the objective to do what he did and run. And 15 seconds after the shot, everyone just kind of panicked and got up and just bucked it and just ran wherever their car was, and yeah, just left. I had like I know people and I have friends who it took them an hour and a half or two to get out of traffic back to like home or campus or wherever. For me, it took like 15 to 20 minutes to get back to BYU campus. And it was a different kind of universe. Like just coming from UVU, someone got shot, everyone just panicked and ran to getting to BYU, and no one knows what just happened. So it was kind of weird being on a different campus and not seeing anyone panic or even like talk about it. But then after like 30 minutes, when I went to class, I heard people talk about like people being like on the phone and like their friends or boyfriends, they were at the event and told them about it. So yeah, that was kind of that was my side of like what I experienced and how I experienced it. I have no words for what happened. I'm very sorry for Charlie and his family and his loved ones. Yeah, it's heavy, and I just hope for the best and God bless them. I'll see you soon.